Hey guys, it's Flip, and today I'm going to do an unboxing and review of this 6-inch multi-function extendable mini cordless chainsaw made by the brand Saker. So I've already done videos about the regular 4-inch and 6-inch Saker mini chainsaw. Here's a 6-inch right here, which, by the way, I've been very happy with both of them. If you missed my videos on those, I'll put the links in the corner of the screen right now and at the end of the video. And to be transparent, again, Saker did send me this in exchange for a product review, but I'm still going to give you an honest review. But the biggest difference with this saw is that obviously it has an extendable pole, so you can use it as a pole saw, or it can be used by itself, just like the other ones, as a regular mini chainsaw, hence the multi-function in the name. The other biggest difference is that this one has a brushless motor, so I'm excited to see the difference in the performance. It also has a tool-free system for adjusting the tension of the chain. But here's the plan for this video. First, we're going to unbox this and we're going to see what all comes with. Then I'll go over all the specs and how it works. Then we will put it to the test. We'll test it out with the extension pole and without. Then I'll give you my thoughts on it. All right, let's get this out of the packaging and we'll see what we got. So it looks like we got two smaller boxes in here and then the outer sleeve with all the information on it. So I'll start with the smaller box. So the smaller box had all our extension poles in it. Move these out of the way. So we got an instruction manual, little bottle of bar and chain oil, charger, some safety glasses, 120 volt lithium ion battery, which is 2 amp hour, and it looks like it has LED indicator lights on the back, which show the status of the charge. One extra chain, a couple little gloves in here that are too small for me. Then we've got the actual tool itself. So here's everything laid out that it comes with. So the first thing I'm noticing is that it does not come with a carrying case like the 6-inch model. And it's understandable considering you would have to fit in all 4 pieces of the extension pole, but just a slight bummer. I definitely like having the case. Makes it pretty handy when I'm working. I can just throw this on the 0 turn and take off and go to work, and I know I won't forget anything that I need for the saw. So here's the actual saw. I like the look of it and the color scheme. It feels nice in the hand. It says it weighs 6.2 pounds, but I'm assuming that's with the battery on and all the extensions attached. Feels solid. It's made out of plastic and rubber. It has the safety switch on just the left side right here. Then you have the trigger, and then you have the hand guard down below that. The bar and the chain together measure just short of 6 inches. It has a rotating baffle right here that'll help block flying debris. And then the electric motor right here, it says 400 watts. And on the box it says 400 watts. On the website it says 550 watts. So I'm not sure which one is accurate, but it is a brushless motor, so it should perform better. It does not have an oil reservoir, so you will have to oil this by hand, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. To adjust the tension of the chain, the first thing you want to do is take the battery off for safety. Then you just turn this black knob right here counterclockwise, and that's going to unlock it. And then you'll adjust the tension of the chain with this little green spinning knob right here. So if you spin that up like this, it's going to loosen the tension of that chain. And if you spin it back down like that, it's going to tighten the tension of the chain. So that's really handy when you're out in the field and don't want to have to find a tool. If you need to replace the chain, you just take this black knob all the way out, then remove this outer casing right here, and then you can see the sprocket where you can replace the chain easily. Also, if you wanted to, if you're using this as a pole saw, a lot of times with longer, heavier branches, you want to do an undercut first so you don't rip away the bark. You could take this one screw out here and take the baffle off. That way you could use the top of the chain here to make undercuts. So if you want to take that baffle off, you can just remove that screw. If you want to use this as a pole saw and make undercuts, it is a little bit tricky because there's a spring you have to get placed back into that baffle correctly. but it is possible if you want to do that. The charger looks like this when it's plugged in. You plug it into the top of the battery, and there's an LED indicator light. It'll be red while it's charging and then green when it's fully charged. All right, so there's a number of different ways you can use this. First, you can just use it like a mini chainsaw. So you can just put your battery right onto the saw like this, and you're ready to go. Let's hear how that sounds compared to the brushed motor just for fun. Then you can take off your battery and attach it to the bottom of the extension pole where the electric control switch here, and you can just attach it right like this. And you have a safety lock and then a trigger right here, and that will control the chainsaw at the end of the pole. Then you would take the actual chainsaw and put it on the end of the extension pole. Then you need to plug in the DC plug so it gets power, just like that. Then your options are you can attach the end of the extension pole and the chainsaw right to this bottom piece if you want it that long, or you can add in one or both of the two extension pieces to make this up to 6.5 feet long. It also has 180 degrees of adjustment for the angle that you're cutting, so you can just press in on this green button and spin it down like that. So to attach the extension pieces, you just align these two triangles, and then you insert the male end into the female end. Then you tighten down this locking collar. So you can use it just like this. You have the bottom piece attached to the top piece and the chainsaw, and you operate it with this safety lock button and the trigger. Or you can put in one of the extension poles or both of the extension poles. So now I'm going to put this battery on the charger and make sure it's fully charged, and then we'll get to the fun part. Let's put it to work. All right, so our light is green, so we are fully charged. So let's go ahead and take this outside and get some oil on the chain, then we'll test it out. All right, so this does come with a little bottle of bar and chain oil, but I typically will just take some oil and put it into an old condiment bottle like that. Something where you can just easily apply it to your bar and chain. So here I'm applying some oil. You just want to get it in there where the chain makes contact with the bar, and then with a gloved hand work that chain around just to get that oil all the way around the bar. So the first thing I'm noticing is what you saw right there. When you try to use this saw with the actual saw rotated at a 90-degree angle, it has trouble keeping contact with the branch. It wants to kind of bounce around or bind up. It's more effective like this, how I'm holding it here in the straight position. When you have it in that angle position like this right here, I had trouble keeping enough pressure to maintain a constant cut with the saw. So it seemed to be more effective how I'm using it right here, just having that saw in the straight position, and it worked just fine. Here I am adding in a third piece of the extension pole. I started using two, and I'm just showing you how easy it is to add in a third piece right there. And then right here I have all four extensions added in. So it's at its maximum length here of 6.5 feet, and I'm showing it to you in action there, cutting a bigger branch and then kind of a smaller one then here, using the saw to yank out the branch once it was hung up. So a couple more examples of me using it here at its maximum length, and then I'm going to show it to you in action just as a regular handheld chainsaw. And this is where I feel like this chainsaw really shine. You can see I'm making cuts here on a branch. It's about 3 inches. Someplace it's a little bigger than 3 inches. But it's going right through these. Again, this is sped up a little bit in double speed just for time's sake, but it's having no problems with this. It has a chain speed of 26.25 feet per second, Again, on the motor it says it is 400 watts and it weighs 6.27 pounds. And you can really tell that this brushless motor has some power. I also like that it comes with a 2 amp hour battery. The 4-inch and 6-inch model of regular handheld chainsaw from Saker that I have only came with a 1.5 amp hour battery. So it's nice this has a 2 amp hour. So right here you can see we're starting to get up into some cuts that are about 3.5 inches or so. And back to the extension pole. Earlier in the video I mentioned removing that baffle to do undercuts. After using this at an angle, I don't know how effective that would be. It seems to work a lot better, like I said, in that straight position. So I don't know if that's really something I would try. I would probably just keep it on and use it in this straight position. And just to give you an idea on battery life, I will show you what I had cut up so far at this point. And after all that, it still seems to be going pretty strong. But it is down to about 2 lights right here. So I'm going to put this to a real test and see if it can cut a thicker branch right here, which is about 5 inches with depleted battery life. So this is a real test. This is about a max for what this little saw can do. This bar and chain are just under 6 inches and this log's about 5 inches. And as you can see, it kind of cuts out a little bit there, but it does finish the job. And I do have this sped up just for time's sake. Then I tried it again. Again, it got caught up a couple times, but it did eventually finish the job. And there's just about 1 bar of light left when this is done. So pretty impressive. Again, it did struggle a couple times cutting out, but it did the job with just 1 bar of light left. It got through about what the max should be for this saw, a 5-inch log. And it still kept going. I ended up cleaning up a bunch of the branches that were laying here until the battery eventually cut out, but it still had some life left, enough to cut up these little branches. And one last thing, as far as the extendable pole goes, I didn't think it was too wobbly. I think having it in 4 individual sections makes it a little bit sturdier. On the website it says it's made out of aluminum, but I hit it with a magnet and it is definitely magnetic. So it's definitely made out of steel, which is fine. That means it's going to rust, but just don't use it in the rain and you don't have to worry about that. Being steel makes it a little sturdier and less wobbly, and it's not too thick to where it's so heavy you can't hold it above your head. So overall, I was pretty impressed with this chainsaw. As you can see, it just keeps going and going, cleaning up what I had left here on the ground. So hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, please hit the like button for me and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.